Welkom allemaal bij deze Q&A over The Book of the Lights van Marcela Lordy. Een adaptatie van gelijknamige boek van Clarice Lispector. Wij hebben de gelegenheid om met haar in gesprek te gaan en ik zal haar heel graag aan jullie voorstellen. So, welcome everyone to this Q&A with Marcela Lordy. Hi there, Marcela.
Hello.
Hi. We just watched your film, The Book of the Lights, and we're very curious. How was it to make an adaptation of Clarice Lispector's universe? You made a very delicate film, a very honest and beautiful film. Was it a difficult thing to make this film?
First of all, thank you for choosing the film to the festival. I'm very happy. And well, it was a really complex journey for me as a director because it's the first feature film that I wrote. And Clarice's universe is really introspective. She's a very sensitive woman. The way she wrote used to be synesthetic, so you don't have many actions in the book. So my first effort was to extract all the action that I could find there. And I made it with a really good screenwriter, an Argentinian screenwriter called Josefina Trota. And we start to look another tales, another romance, another literary work from Clarice to put more actions and also our experience. Because Clarice wrote this book in 1969. It was a really hard period from Brazilian politics. We was in a dictatorial government, and it was really difficult to talk about women freedom and these kind of things. So Clarice made a big revolution inside her character. So all the revolutions that Laurie lives, it was deep into herself. And 50 years after this experience, we are also again in a dictatorial period because Bolsonaro's government, it was a mess in Brazil. It was crazy. So I think also the patriarchal society didn't change so much. So this book, I pay attention on this book, especially because of the process of the women libertations and independence and this kind of things. So we try to also transform the dialogues because they are more formal, not it could be very weird to put the pure literature into the film. So we thought we can't put a lot of off. It's too easy, write script, putting off and then action. So let's try to transform the things in actions that she lives in her body, in her silence, in her solitude. Yeah. So this was a challenge to do. And we put the literature part on the children's, on her students, in another situations to have, because it's poetry, it's beautiful the way Clarice writes.
Yeah, exactly. We can feel that on Laurie's, the main character, face. You can read it, but you don't hear it. So that's actually a method you used a lot in your film and adapting this story. You see things, but it takes quite a long time before you hear her speaking. I'm curious, how did you like implement this into this character, like having her as a main character, but not having her as a main, she's not the main person who speaks the most often.
She's a very alone person. Also, Clarice and Laurie and myself in this time, I started to make this film 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. I have already divorced, and it was quite strange for me to see how the people are in a liquid love moment. Did you know the book of Bauman? Zygmunt Bauman? Yes, about liquid love, that nobody wants to to have a real affection with the others. And I was like scared. And when I read this book, I understand that it was about love, but love in another way, when you need the other person. It's like a broken of romantic love, because Clarice tried to, I feel that she tried to tell us that we have to be really good with ourselves. We have to learn how to live alone, how to treat well yourself, to make a beautiful dinner, to be in a good way. First, to meet another person. You can't go in a romantic relationship when you are not in a, how can I say it?
Good place with yourself. Yeah.
Yes, a balance. Yes, good place with yourself. So I have a lot of difficulty to live alone. When I go to my own apartment, I was like scared. Oh my God, I have always my sister, my mother, my father, everybody, and cats, and then alone. So I was like, oh my God. So I have to learn how to like and to be in peace alone. So I think this book showed me that Lordy she was uncomfortable with herself, and she had to make this journal to be in peace, to accept her pains, her things, to leave her. Not only he can't avoid. We can't avoid all the time our difficulties. We have sometimes to go into deep to see the complexity of ourselves. So I think this was really interesting. Yeah. So she was alone and in silence all the first moment of the film, because I feel like that we're alone in an apartment and there's nobody to talk to. And she's the character of Clarice is a really lonely character, because she came from the countryside and go to the beach, Rio de Janeiro, to the big city, and she was like scared, alone. She has no friends, nobody, but it's not making good for her. So Ulysses looked for her and say, no, come on, you have to have friends, you have to enjoy, teach for the classes. Life could be likely. You don't need to be so separate from the universe. And I think this was a beautiful process. So when she go into the ocean, I think she's going deep on her soul. And when she cured about, she could understand that the simple things like a bird on a class or the children, the other things could be also interesting.
Yeah. Her freedom is depicted with that beautiful scene near the end of your film. In the beginning, she is like, enclosed. She's like a bit constipated. She doesn't want to go outside, and she always has excuses.
She never laughs.
She never laughs. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
In the beginning.
And then, she lives in that apartment that she inherited from her mother, and her father really wants her to live there, but they don't have the connection anymore as a family. Her brother comes and visit her, and there is clearly no connection between her and him. Actually, a rather interesting character, that brother.
Yes, the funny part of the film. I like, because she's lovely with her, but he's the patriarchal word. She represents the patriarchal, and the apartment that you mentioned represent in a symbolic way her mother, the feminism, the way that she needs to find many things, because her mother died 5 years ago, something like that. And she never was so close to her mother as on this apartment. In this apartment, she finds things about the past of her mother. She tried to
make a scarf,
compare herself
and
with her mother,
heal herself. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. At first, these scenes inside the apartments, they feel like a bit fuzzy, like misty. That there's fog inside. It's dark. She is sweating. She it's not a nice time she's having there, but not comfortable. Exactly. And then outside she meets Ulysses, this really interesting guy, professor philosophy, very intriguing character, easygoing, and he actually is this he makes her at unease with herself, but he helps with this extrinsic elements to push her becoming
he provokes her all the time, isn't it?
Yeah. And how was this character in Clarice Lispector?
In the novel, this character is really polemic because they say that he's very machistic, because I make him softer because we are, come on, in another cycle, so
yeah.
Century, sorry, another century. But he used to be more, como fala provocador?
Provocative?
Provocative and polemic. And I think in our history, the most important from the adaptation is that in the film, Lordy go through her own steps. In the book, Ulysses go with her. He is the one who make the changes. But in the book, in the film, no, she go by herself. So this is a very important point to say about the adaptation, because in the book he's like a psychologo. How can we say? A shrink. He's like a shrink. So. At many meetings, he's always putting something to her develop herself in a very slow way.
Yeah.
So in the film, I thought, okay, he's a catalysator, the guy, the one. He's the one who are going to make. She saw a lot of things about herself because he was also a lonely person. He has already made his journey, but also. The family, the brother are going to show another things, the mother and the children's, and the love is different types of love. You have the unconditional loves from the children's, the fraternal love from the family, and the romantic love. So I used to work in three.
And all at her time.
Layers of love.
She couldn't go one step ahead because then she would fall back. So actually, it's a very feministic approach you implement.
Yeah, she went and then come back. It's like the ocean, you know. And this movement is like pendula. Lord is finding her ex, her balance. So she's all the time trying to find her balance.
Yeah.
And I think her experience outside in the street with the other men, she never connect, she never have a affection, this kind of. So Ulysses is the first one that she really get involved, and it's different, and then she's ready to live.
Yeah. And then on a career level, so in her ambition to be a good teacher, she also copies like his approach to perform herself and reading these diaries of her mother and talking about them in a very intellectual way. I really adored that scene. It was one of my favorite How did you come up with? Do you have yourself a teaching experience, or how did you come up with this?
I used to teach cinema, a documentary from 3 years in International Academy at São Paulo. I love teach. It's really nice, but this I make it like a lab going to in a school in Rio de Janeiro, because I live in São Paulo. Rio de Janeiro is also a foreign space for me. So I think, okay, I'm going to feel like Clarice felt all her life, because she was Ukrainian. She's not from Brazil. She born there. She came in a ship when she was a baby. And she considered herself Brazilian, but she always have an accent. Her family, they have a background history completely different. So in Rio de Janeiro, I used to make a laboratory, how can I say, a lab, going 1 week to see the classes of the children and to see how the teacher, because I teach to adults and they are children from 7 years old. And it was a really, really nice experience. I asked to the school to maintain this class, and I put 3-4 actors, but the class is a real class. It's a real school. It's a public school. It's not a particular school. It's a public school in Rio de Janeiro. So it was really beautiful to film with this real class. And then Simone Spoladori, she's a really special actress, very, very sensitive, very silent also. She started as dancer, ballerina, how can I say?
Yeah, a dancer. Yeah.
Dancer, and she's always a quiet. I think she born to the cinema, because she's say everything just on her face. And she's a very interesting.
Yeah.
And she make the same laboratory. She go to the school and I say, okay, now you go and stay 1 week talking to this teacher, because the teacher was a really amazing teacher, the ones that we inspired, and try to feel how she works, how to deal with these children. And then she said, once this teacher told me that she was really sad. She cried all the night, and then she went with sunglasses in the morning to give classes. And then Simone, I'm going to put the sunglasses in the film, because Clary couldn't make the same. And also, she used to teach without shoes. I don't know why. And then Simone say, okay, Lori, you're not going to use shoes in the class. So we are going to take in small things to make the most real we can.
Wow, that's beautiful anecdote. Thanks for sharing these nice elements. One last question. In the ending, we see Lori and Ulysses having this symbiotic manner of approaching to each other. And then they have this after day, this morning talk, where she is going to explain something big, and she asks him, like, "What do you know what I think?" And he says no, and that's crazy, because normally he would have said, "Yes, I know exactly what you think. I'm one step ahead." And then you have this double points and nothing. Why was this ending so abrupt? Why did you choose for this ending?
Because the book starts with a comma. It's the only book in the world that starts with a comma. You start to read. Some people say, oh, come on, it's missing a page. No, start comma and then the narrative. And the end is a full stop. Clarice do this. So I'm just sitting her. How can I say citar? Mention. I am mentioning her. And I think the women's, me, you, we are going to answer this question, because we are ready to be in this world in another way. We are starting to develop our narratives. There's one thing important that I didn't mention, is that Clarice place with classic narratives, because Homer's Odyssey is the man, Ulysses is the one who go into the world and make the big travel, and then Penelope stay at home waiting. So Clarice inverse this, putting Ulysses waiting from Lottie. He's waiting for her love. For love, all the film. And then who made the big deal, the big trip is Lottie into herself, into her maturity. So this is really beautiful, the way that Clarice play with the classic narrative. So I think we starting to write our narratives. The women's, the way, another thing that everybody notice is the way that I film, that I shoot the scenes of sex films. How can I say sex? The like scenes of the sex.
Yeah.
No, we have a lot of scenes of
sexual
sex film, sex scenes. How can I say?
Hot scenes.
Hot scenes. You say. And
sexual intercourse or something like that. Versus,
And these scenes, I didn't decoupate a lot. I put like a sequence, like a sequence planned, like more natural. And the body of the woman is also natural. Simone asked me, would you like me to get thinner? I say, no, we were perfect. Our bodies are our bodies. They are natural. So this is a different way. I try to put these scenes in more comfortable way, not going to put in parts and the body and and I don't know, I just make this flow like something in the reality. So this is, I think, is a different way that women shoot the hot scenes. I don't know. We shoot different. the actress was very comfortable about her body, about.
You can feel. Yeah,
she was really nice. And Javier Droles is an Argentinian actor that I love. He's really nice, really sweet. So this, I think, this character, he also foragian, it symbolized like the Ulysses, the distance, because in Clarice's novel, he's from Brazil, but we make a co-production with Rizoma Films, that is a really nice producer in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, and then we decide to put an actor from another country just to make this more distant to Lottie, because for Lottie, she's like a femme fatale. She always killed the love, all her loves. So this one is the one who are going to make her look the things in another way.
Wow, yeah, I hear a lot of inversion, changing, very original approach to this beautiful book and beautiful scripts. I enjoyed watching your film. I think the public, the audience here watching, enjoyed it too. So thank you a lot, Marcela, for this Q&A.
It was a pleasure.
And we're looking forward to more of your work. I heard something already.
I'm preparing the next one.
So good luck with your career, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Lisa.